Do you know Rayman 2?
Hello everyone, it's the Pineapple Grenader, and I just wanted to start off the video a little bit differently to offer a spoiler warning for Captain Lazerhawk. This show is really cool, but this video is not a review, it's an analysis, and I personally feel like going into the show completely blind will definitely enhance your enjoyment of the show. If you're interested in Ubisoft stuff and Rayman, then I'd prefer that you'd watch the show first before coming into this video. It's only 6 episodes and it shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, just watch the show first before coming in. I don't want to spoil anything for you. I'm going to be spoiling plot points visually and within the script, so this is just your warning. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. For me, Captain Lazerhawk, a Blood Dragon remix, is one of 2023's biggest surprises. I remember hearing about Ubisoft's future animation endeavors and not feeling super enthralled, especially after Rayman's show ended up being canned. Plus, I wouldn't call myself the biggest Ubisoft fan. I have no ill will towards their output. I don't even have the energy to be annoyed by the umpteenth Assassin's Creed title. The only things attached to Ubisoft that I really care about are Rayman, the Rabbids, and Brawlhalla. That's it. With my limited attachment to the company's output and my fears of a show more concerned with shocking viewers rather than telling a good story, imagine my surprise when I became hooked. The show's biggest draw has to be its absolute unpredictability. Calling it Cyberpunk Suicide Squad is a bit derivative, but it's the only way to describe the manic energy the show radiates. You really don't know who will live, who will die, who's good, and who's bad. The best thing about the show is that all of this chaos is wrapped in a fully realized cyberpunk world. Every character in Captain Lazerhawk is forged by the corrupt world of Eden, and in turn become a dialogue about it. Discussing every character in detail would take ages, so let's zoom in and take a look at how one limbless legend becomes transformed by Eden. But first, I think it would be very funny if I completely derailed my analysis to discuss Rayman's road to Lazerhawk. I got into Rayman pretty late, just around when Origins got released. While everyone else was gearing up for the character's biggest hiatus, I was savoring Origins and Legends. Since then, I've drawn loads of Rayman fan art, listened to Rayman music, and played him in Brawlhalla. Rayman never felt like he left to me. So, my main concern wasn't when he would come back, but who'd he become when he did. My greatest fear for the character was for him to be defined by his obscurity. The Phantom's roast in the Mario Rabbids DLC were harmless, but I was more concerned with how he would be remixed in Lazerhawk. I could totally see Rayman as a vain egomaniac, obsessed with the spotlight, a joke villain who'd probably get a pathetic death. I was so happy I was wrong. Part of the appeal of Rayman in this show is the fact that he's been afforded a depth that hasn't been seen before. This isn't to say that the character and his stories never had any substance, just that this new remix has a lot to explore. So let's do that. Rayman's story in Captain Lazerhawk is one of identity. He was a refugee from Dimension X, and hoped to find a new life in America. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't change the way people looked at him. To everyone around him, he was just a lowly alien. Then Eden rose into power, and chose Rayman as their mascot. He was now a star, but not just any star, one that could provide hope to everyone. The thing that fascinates me about the character is how he seems to be defined by gratitude. In his eyes, Eden saved him and gave him a chance to become something greater. For the longest time, Rayman believed in Eden as a force for good. It's only after meeting up with Bullfrog that his perception changes. Not just about Eden, but about himself. Eden spent years abusing its citizens and subjugating non-humans. Of course, because Rayman was the face of Eden, he was also attached to these atrocities. While hundreds of people loved him, thousands more likely hated him. In a way, Rayman is back to square one, a monster in the eyes of the public. He was Eden's puppet, dulling the senses of the masses to their crimes. His identity was never his to forge, only for others to corrupt. Rayman's story is also one of selflessness. His descent begins when he's discriminated on live television and defends himself. Rayman is fired from his job and spirals into a state of self-pity. Even in this state, his anger also extends to the potential viewers who would have likely also been hurt by those comments. How could everyone be so hateful? Don't they know that hybrids and other non-humans are the backbone of Eden? How could they cast them aside? His conversation with Bullfrog is also interesting. At first, Rayman is focused on his anger, how he was cast aside after serving Eden for years. Bullfrog's remark is fascinating. He extends sympathy to Rayman, recognizing that he was right to defend himself. However, he also challenges him to look beyond himself, to recognize the hurt Rayman feels as one thousands of citizens feel on a much larger scale. This realization is the catalyst that allows Rayman to shed his manufactured image for something more. Rayman's story is one of compassion, one that acts as a reflection for the rest of the cast. Within this season, there's a three-way battle between Eden, the Resistance, and Sarah Fisher's ghosts. As the war mounts, clarity is lost, and only in the final moments does Rayman and Dolph Lazerhawk realize it. It's about saving lives. Bullfrog teaches them both about honor and loyalty, and they learn something that Sarah or even Alex never could. Strides to topple Eden caused them to cast aside the innocent people caught in the crossfire. It's only when you recognize the souls that believe in you, that inspire, do you become a real hero. Dolph and Rayman didn't have much stakes in the war, but because of one caring soul, they have a reason to keep fighting.